Hello there, welcome to this video. Actually, I don't know if this is going to be my first video or my last video because, well, I'm not sure if I'm made for this type of content, like making videos and whatever. I'm a very shy person at the beginning, but yeah, whatever. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about scraping data in Golang. For this, I'm going to be using a Golang package named Coley. So this is a scrapping to, I'm going to put some music, sorry. I'm going to put some music. So, because it was really silent, So I'm going to be using this Coley. So Coley is a scrapping tool in Golang. So yeah, it has like very nice built-in functions. So yeah, let's talk about this. The target website I'm choosing is, it's Fact Retriever. So it's a cool website with a lot of interesting facts about whatever you want. So yeah, I'm going to be choosing this. I'm going to be choosing cats as a topic because I really like cats. It's really my thing. So I'm going to be choosing this. So yeah, I'm going to be scrapping this information in Golang. So let's go. So first of all, I'm going to be zooming on my terminal so you guys can see correctly what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm going to go to my documents directory. I'm going to make a cat facts folder, cd into it. Okay, here I'm going to init a Go module. So convention is to write your domain name or your repo GitHub name, and then the name of your module. So yeah, and here I'm going to go get this package. So the GitHub Coley up. Oh, actually, there is a space here. Okay, so this is fetching the package from GitHub, the Coley package. Let me just size this a bit. Okay, and so actually it created a Go mod. In the Go mod, it lists all of your dependencies. Well, one of your dependencies is of course Go Coley, and then when we run go get GitHub Coley, it actually created a go.sum file. I'm going to show it to you. So yeah, it created a go.sum file. So this go.sum file has the indirect dependencies of our project. So what are the indirect dependencies? Sorry about my English, by the way. I'm like Portuguese and French, so English is really not my native language, so I'm really sorry about that. And so the Go mod package lists our dependencies. One of them is, of course, the GitHub Go Coley, and this program also has their own dependencies. Those dependencies are for example, a Go query, Cascadia, HTML query, whatever. So this is all of our indirect dependencies. Sorry. So just a little bit of additional information. Now main.go. So we have a package main with a func main. So this is the entry point of our program. Okay, cool. And here we need to structure our data. So I'm going to be naming our data info for information. So I'm going to create a struct. So we need to analyze. Well, this is just a comment here. This is struct for my website data. Okay, cool. Because actually when you have uppercase named variables or function or structs, it means it's exported, so you can use it in other package. So you need to have a comment so the linter in Go is happy. So yeah, if we had this, it means I can only use it in the main.go, in the package main, I mean. Okay, so now let's analyze a bit our website. So I'm going to inspect this. and we have, let's select this. So we have a list with this class name, with this CSS class facts list. Within the facts list we have li with an ID attribute and some text. So we need the ID attribute, maybe it can be useful, and the text within. So we're going to be selecting this and this. Okay, so back to our program. First of all, let's make a slice with all of our infos. Okay, need to make. So this is a slide of the info with an initial length of 0, because in Golang arrays we have arrays, but arrays arrays, they have like a fixed length. So if you declare an array of 4 values, it always going to have 4 values. You cannot append values to it. With slices, they are flexible, so you can append more values to it. That's why we are using slices here. So okay, now let's init our collector. So let's call it new collector. Let's say which websites Collie is allowed to visit, which domain name, sorry. So allowed domains. So let's get this factretriever.com. We don't need the HTTPS. Okay, actually I'm not sure if we need the World Wide Web. I'm just gonna put both of them just in case. Okay, with the comma on this. Now we're gonna call another built-in. What's happening here? What did I do? Oh, okay, we have 2. Okay, cool. So now collector.on HTML. So this allows you to select the HTML element we want to work with. So as we see, this is the facts list. So this class name, facts list, and the li within. And now we have a callback function that is a pointer to an HTML element in the Collie package. Okay, so now we have our element. So the element is our fact lists of our web page. Okay, cool. So now we need to get that ID attribute. So how do we get this? Info ID is in a variable. So we can just do this element that attribute, and here we're going to say ID. This is really cool. This is like jQuery. If you guys know jQuery, it's a bit the same thing. Actually, you can see that in the go.sum, Collie is fetching like GoQuery. I'm not quite sure, but I think that GoQuery is like jQuery for Golang. So I may be saying nonsense, but I think it is. So now the problem is that actually attribute, as you see here, come on, over it. Doesn't want to over it. Okay, actually attribute returns a string type, and here we have an int. Oh, sorry, we didn't declare, we didn't finish our struct, so I'm going to be okay. So our struct is made of, I went way too fast on this. So our struct has an ID of type integer with a JSON field, because we're going to parse it to JSON of ID. Okay, and it also has a description. The description is just the text. So description of type string with a JSON field, description. Did I wrote this right? Description. Yeah, description. Okay, cool. So now we can see that. Come on, over it. Okay, cool. So attribute receives a string type, a string value, and it returns a string value. And here we want an integer. So we need to convert this to an integer. So we're going to use strconf.atoy I'm really sorry about my English. I'm not sure if I'm saying this right. So yeah, this is like a standard library in Golang to convert values. What's happening? Oh yeah, so this returns an integer, receives a string, returns an integer and an error. So we need to treat this error. Okay, let's go. So let's do this. If error different than nil, so if error exists, just print a line saying error. Okay, cool. So now we have our info ID. Oh, why this? Sorry. And now we need our info description. Sorry, info description is just the element.text. Perfect. And now we need to make a struct out of these two fields that we have. We have the description, we have the ID, so now we can make an info. So info is structs in Golang are a bit like in JavaScript objects. So just that's how I like to see it. Just well, I'm a beginner to Golang, but I like to see it that way. It helps me a lot. Sorry. So yeah, so now we have the ID. So the ID is our info ID, and we have the description. Come on, yes, cool. Info desk. Okay, cool. Now we have our info, and now we just need to append it, well, to send it to the all infos slice. So just get this infos equal to, let's use a built-in function in Golang, append. So append to all infos this info. Cool. So now we are done with on HTML function. So now let's use collector.visit. So it visits not our domain name, but our actually web page that we want to scrap. So let's do this. Terminal. Come on, go run here. Let's go. So we can see that there is some action here because you see the delay. So there is some action that we are not informed of. So we need to use, just to add an improvement of logging here, we need to use another method named onRequest. Yeah, so onRequest it allows us to fetch the request and like do some action with it, so we can print when we are requesting the web page. So let's go to Colli request. Okay, cool. And here let's just print when we are visiting the web page. Visiting request dot URL. I really struggle with this word URL. So request URL dot string, so we can parse it string. Okay, cool. So now if we run this again, we're gonna get visiting our web page. Cool. So now we have the data. So after we visit it, we need to encode it to JSON. So let's bring a new JSON with the JSON standard library in Golang. So JSON new encoder. So the encoder actually takes as a parameter the writer. So the writer is where we want to write the data. So we want to write the data. So see, new encoder that writes to WV. So W is this. Okay. So we want to write it at first to our terminal. So our terminal is actually the output of our program. So let's get the OS package and get the standard output. I'm really saying these words in French. So os.standard output. So now we are writing this to the terminal. So we're gonna set some indentation to get JSON correctly, and now we need to say which data we are going to write on the terminal. So we're going to write. So I'm going to encode the all info slice. Okay, so now normally this is working. Let's expand this. Okay, cool. So go run main.go. Let's see. Okay, perfect. So see here, there's the description and the ID of our information here. So that's how you scrap data from a web page. Really happy this is working. And now let's write this to a JSON file because it's a bit better. So I'm gonna make write JSON file, the function, sorry. So it's like the encode. We're gonna have a parameter of our all info. So actually I'm gonna name it this data of type, I think, well, it's in a slice of info, yeah. So slice of info. Okay, and here we're gonna call data file. So you're gonna call JSON package Marshall indent. So Marshall returns Marshall returns JSON from a byte from a slice. So you're gonna get the indent package. I think it's like this. Did I wrote it? How did I wrote this? Yeah, it's 2 L's. Yeah, 2 L's. Marshall indent. So yeah, so this takes our data and the indent. Okay, and it actually has an error, I think. Come on, over it. Why doesn't in the file? You mean did I wrote it? Okay. Oh, it's only 1 L. Sorry. So error. Okay. So if error different than nil, then log println could not write. Or create JSON, because before this Marshall indent there is no JSON. Okay, data for the code never used, so it's cool. And now we're going to use another standard library, your IOUtil. So that has a method write file to create the file. So this takes as parameter the file name. So the file name is going to be .json. It takes the data, I guess. Yeah, data. So our data is our data file, and the permission to the file mode. So it says if the file is meant to be read, meant to be wrote, meant to be executed. So for that I have a Unix permission calculator. So see that 666, yeah, you know that 777, it's actually all of the permissions. So you grant all of the permissions to the file, but I think the best is 0666, because you only, well, special, I don't know, I don't remember what is special, but we just care about the user because it's the user on your OS. So you just need to read and write, well, maybe execute. Well, no, we don't need to execute. Yeah, we just need to read and write. So I'm going to be using this permission code. Okay, so normally you don't need to call it, of course. So write JSON with all infos. So normally this is working. So let's see. Go run main.go. Let's see if it creates a file. Please do. Yes, cool, perfect. So here we have all of our scrap data into a file, into a JSON file. So really cool, really happy this worked. So yeah, thanks a lot for watching this video, and maybe see you soon. Thanks guys, bye.